Welcome to the early edition. What episode is this?
We are
37.
I swear to God. Is it 46?
We're on 46, yes.
Welcome to episode 46 of the first 46.
My 37.
First 48.
My episode 37 joke is almost 10 weeks old.
Oh, no, it's much older than
It's coming
that.
up on it.
Much older than that.
It's older than that,
Maybe
yes.
not in actual
How could it be
time.
older than that?
Well,
Well,
it's just...
You haven't been saying 37 all this time, but saying the wrong episode joke is...
That's fair.
Well, anyway, welcome.
It has to be immortalized as 37, though.
Oh,
we'll be
it's-
on episode 617. It's episode 37.
I will never forget about it, so we can just kind of kill it now, because it's always in my heart.
In fact, every episode that we post, like on YouTube or something, we should actually label them episode 37. No one would ever be able to find the one they want.
So you know what?
What up,
the
fishes?
internet answer to that is to just go somewhere else.
Okay.
Are you?
That-
Jason said, "What up, fishes?"
Oh, okay. I thought you were.
Jason's early.
Up?
He's always
Fishes.
waiting. He's ready.
I love it.
Yeah,
man.
no.
I
it's-
thought-
So we're
it's great.
trying something new. We are Trimo-cast. We're triple casting.
Trimo?
Twitch.
It's still
That's
Simo,
not
yeah.
a word. Is it Trimo? Is that a real word?
No, it's still Simul. Simulcast.
So there's no
You think
limit.
that works?
So it's like like Jake's one thing that like after two it's all the same.
God.
You can't use
We'll
inside
fill- we'll
jokes
fill you
like
in later.
that.
Yeah,
no,
especially
you
ones,
won't.
especially
Joinks.
ones that can't be repeated
explain.
on air.
At any rate, at any rate, we're on Twitch, YouTube, and the Facebook, right?
The Facebook.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
It was originally the Facebook.
The Facebook.
The
That's right. So
Cyborg
we've
Network.
come all around. We're trying to figure out how the.
Do you remember Facebook how it was 10 years ago?
No, I don't remember how. It was
I didn't even have a Facebook.
I don't
10
think I
years.
had.
No, I did.
Well,
I did.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, maybe
you
I did.
You probably
I
did.
started
You were in
in-
college. You probably did.
Wait,
right?
no, I
Yeah,
did.
that's
Not
right.
in 09.
I
Holy
did.
crap, it's
I think I
crazy.
joined in 09.
I did.
Oh, crap.
I joined-
It's 2019.
I joined in 07.
2019 is quickly approaching.
I joined as
half
soon
over.
as I got an EDU because you can only get it.
That's what I heard back
You
in the
can
day.
only get it if you had a .edu for like the first
I had it after
2
that.
years
'cause
it was public.
I have a Hotmail, which apparently is no longer a thing.
I still have a Hotmail.
Well, you can't sign up for Hotmail anymore.
Oh.
It's all Outlook, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
Outlook or Live.
Yeah, like they haven't given out the Hotmail.
Really?
I still have a Hotmail too.
I've seen a couple of Hotmails. So
Yeah, I mean,
Have
they
you?
still exist. but
Have you
like-
really?
yeah, I've seen
All
a
right.
couple Hotmails.
Yeah, in
Like
my
Cyborg
time.
We've come
Network.
all around. We're trying to figure
Now?
out how
3 maybe. You remember Facebook?
Yeah, a few.
So we were debating before we went live. We were like, should we do should we go live a little earlier, or should we do a pre-production meeting? So we debated it, and
And we're gonna do
We
both.
We did not debate it. They simply just
We
said, "No, Dakota,
half-heartedly
you're wrong.
talked
We
about
don't
it
need to be
and-
organized. Hit play."
well, I'm
Go
just
live.
thinking like normal. Like there's a lot of weeks where you guys show up like at 9:05, and we got to go live right away.
I
There's
don't know.
no-
I don't remember the last time I was here at 9:05.
It's been a while. You've been
Yeah.
No,
getting your-
well, because I
Can you put this over here?
I literally adjusted my schedule so that I could be here for this.
That's good. Wow,
Yeah.
is Tony Taylor really in here? He's gone by now.
He might be in here.
We lost.
He
his-
usually sticks around till we start talking about Warhammer.
I've
Then he
never. I haven't
fades
seen
away.
Tony in a long time.
Someone bring up Warhammer.
Oh my god. So listen, tonight I want to. I
Oh,
do
look,
want to
he
talk.
dropped.
All right, he's gone. Bye, Tony.
I said the word.
As soon as he hears it, his brain like done.
Yep, it was that
Um,
fast. I saw our viewer tick down by one.
Unbelievable. So yeah, I do at some point want to talk about censorship. I wanted to talk about it last week, but we got on the Legion topic, which went really well. And since then, we've gotten more Legion news, which
Actually,
we will talk about.
I think
Oh, yeah.
I think that we should avoid that topic because it might offend me.
Legion.
Censorship? It offends the hell out of me.
I-
So
I-
we
we
should
should
definitely talk
censor-
about it.
We
The
should
conversation about censorship
we should.
because it bothers.
I want
me.
to censor Legion.
Well, okay.
don't know
What
what that
about
means,
what about
but-
Legion? You mean like the lizards?
Yeah, man, the
That
Thunder
we were talking
Lizard.
about?
The Thunder Lizards.
That's what they.
That-
that's
yeah,
what
no,
they
that-
said
that-
in the.
that's what they.
Oh,
they
you know,
called it.
yeah.
The
That's
do,
right.
the dewbacks.
The dewbacks,
They move.
yeah.
They move speed 1.
It's
yeah, but the base
hilarious.
is huge though.
Are they?
Yeah, so it's
Yeah.
a little bit
They,
different.
they also have
Yeah. No, they have like a
You can prod them.
It's
and
like
make
an
them go
ATRT base, or is it bigger than that?
I think it's bigger.
it's
than that.
bigger, but
can-
they
you
have
can
they have
prod
the they
Yeah,
have the
yeah. I don't know. Like I don't know. It's
It's-
weird.
You can take
like,
a suppression to move
Yeah,
to
it's-
increase your speed by one.
Yeah,
It's
so
the
you can
Pathfinder
go to
rule,
move.
yeah.
You can go to move 2.
which is on that base is huge. Because
actually
remember, Legion
it's going to
is
be
different
bigger than move 2.
because it's from
Why?
the front of the base to the back of the
Well,
base. So you
yeah.
like totally.
It's move 1. I guess I
Big
you can
bases.
go to move 2.
Big bases are insane.
I thought it just allowed
You
you to
know
move
what?
again.
Yeah, I guess now that you're.
Well, I mean, whatever it is. I mean,
Okay.
that's
Actually,
technically farther than move 2.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because it's
that's
the
what I
start.
was saying.
That may
Did
be what it
you
is.
see that they're also armor 3?
No,
They're
armor
armor
1.
1.
1?
Yeah, the armor
that
one.
looked like a 3 to
That
me.
was
No, the
definitely
article
a
says
1.
it's 1, I think.
Okay, because
It was
like
definitely one.
maybe because
Kinda weird.
maybe because the picture's blurry when you got to zoom so far in
Yeah,
on it, but they
right.
definitely looked like they were armor 3.
It's kind of weird, like having a big organic lizard have armor, but like I understand
But
what they're trying to
it's
do.
like its hide is like super thick. It's cool. Plus, if it's only armor 1, it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, you cancel
No.
one hit per attack.
But plus that now you can give them you can make them voluntarily have suppression. So now you're dodging the first 2 hits.
Yeah, I mean, and then obviously you've got regular cover mechanics
kind of-
coming into play too.
What kind of unit type is it?
It's support.
No, what like not it's like force organization, but like what is it? Like trooper, like.
Oh, I don't know. I couldn't. The card's
Yeah.
too far away. They haven't. They
Okay.
didn't announce that.
Well, it's probably the same as whatever the Tauntauns
It might
are.
be.
Did you see its
What's that?
melee?
Yeah.
I don't
No,
remember.
what is the
It,
melee?
3 red, 3 white.
That's cool.
It doesn't come with a gun though.
Oh,
No, you have to pick-
and it has critical 3 and suppressive.
What is critical again?
I think you.
I read the
Critical-
rule. I read the rule. It's whenever you're applying whenever you're converting surges, you can convert however many surges to crits.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
That's
if you
cool.
roll so in that case I think that actually has hit surges so for that it won't be that big of a deal. But if you have a model that
Brad.
doesn't have hit surges,
Funky friend.
Unbelievable.
I miss you, Pat.
Hi, Pat.
But so
Thank you for
if,
joining us.
if you have a model that doesn't have any hit surges, critical would be a huge deal. But
Yeah.
for models that
One of their
don't-
guns
that
has
do have 'em.
critical 1 also, I saw. Or critical something.
Oh, yeah, and it had suppressive for melee.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah, it is weird.
Yeah.
But
I don't
like,
think you're going to be using it for melee.
But like,
I mean,
but I mean, if you
I
hit
don't know.
something first and
Yeah.
then they activate that later, they may if it's like a light troop, they may have to go
What
down.
I thought was even
an
cooler
action.
though was the shore troopers, and they're doing the same emplacement trooper thing.
Yeah, so,
You see, like,
if you pay for that, is it part of the unit or is it a separate unit?
What are you talking about?
like
The mortar for the shore
it's-
troopers.
it's
I
basically-
called
think
that,
of-
by the way. Shore troopers and dewback. I called it.
you did call, you did call short.
See,
Everyone called
no,
you back.
like,
after
I
they saw
don't-
Tauntaun.
Right, fair
The,
enough.
the only thing I don't like here is that, like, it seems like every time some new like mechanic comes out for one side, the other side gets the exact same mechanic.
I think that's the safest way to balance it. though.
Yeah.
Okay, but
Kind of though, because there's been a lot of new mechanics released that
They just release together. That doesn't mean every game's going to have them pitted against
I mean,
each
you're
other.
you're right, but now like the same tools are going to be in both boxes, like because
Which is-
because
I think that's
okay.
how they
because
balance it.
Pathfinders and Death Troopers both came out with their reconfigure.
Yeah.
You know, they're in order emplacement trooper that,
Yeah,
that
but
was
just
on
wait
the
till we get the
veterans
Clone
and
Wars, though. Like when we get 2 whole new factions, which I was watching a podcast with Alex Davey on it, who's the designer of Legion, and he was talking about when they designed the new factions, they wanted to make sure they had a totally different strategy, like that they had a different feel. So like, there's already a new token in the box, the new core set.
Yeah.
So
did they say what it was?
it's a surge. It's a green surge token. So like, there's a mechanic where you can share
Yeah.
green tokens with the new
Actually,
stuff.
Yeah, you know what? I actually saw the token. I remember seeing the token
Yeah,
when they
it's a
previewed the
surge.
kit. And I was like, "What is that?"
Yeah, and we don't know how it's going to work yet. We don't
Yeah.
know, any of that.
Yeah.
You got to play more Legion, man.
Oh
You're
my
just
God,
like,
man, I
you're
am just-
sitting here listening.
I am-
It's a good game. Like,
Straight. I'm trying to take it all in.
It's so
But
good.
yeah,
We
so-
played a game the other day. It was a lot of fun.
But yeah, so going back to those shore troopers though, they're doing the same emplacement trooper thing. And did you see the weapon that was in there?
in what?
The
The
weapon,
mortar team,
yeah,
the mortar team?
yeah.
I saw the mortar.
Yeah, it's the ATST mortar, so it's going to be the same gun that's on the ATST. Kind of like how they're doing.
Oh, is it really? I saw. I saw
bet
it.
it
Looked,
is.
it looks similar.
Well, they're doing the same thing for the.
they just rip it off and like.
Well, I mean, any
Is it
sort
plasma
of
or
cruiser.
is it a projectile?
I have no idea. But
it doesn't look like a normal.
because it's the
projectile.
same
It looks
thing.
like a
It's-
toaster.
Yep.
It really looks like a
Yep.
toaster.
Fire the bread.
It's the same thing for the veterans too. So they have the medium blaster for the machine gun, but it's the same gun that's on the land speeder. This guy's ridiculous.
Do you guys have links to the spoilers?
Yeah. Well, if we
on our
had,
Legion page.
if we had spent some time to do like a pre-show
Pre-production.
meeting, we could have pulled this.
I
Stuff
wish
up.
someone would have thought of that.
I know, like.
Yeah, I wish someone didn't rush us to start early.
But no, I was saying was we can edit, afterwards we can edit that into the description, right? Saying
Yeah.
Michael's
Right?
gonna
We can?
Yeah,
say
you can add
something.
Yeah.
Something, Mike.
say something.
Say something.
So we should
Mike?
throw that in there because
No,
I have no
I-
idea what you guys are talking about, and I would like to click the link.
Okay. Are you part of the Legion group?
Yeah.
They're always linked up there.
Yeah, but what if our viewers aren't?
they're gonna forget all about this.
Join the Legion group.
No, yeah, we.
Yeah, no, there is an Acropolis Games Legion page. Check it out.
Subset page of our
Wonderful.
regular Facebook page.
Yes.
Not a
you
Reddit page.
might be currently
I don't know
watching
how to
on.
do Reddit. Do you guys know how to Reddit?
I don't know how to Reddit.
I don't know anything
You
about
should
Reddit.
just stay away from Reddit.
Honestly,
Don't go there.
It's Reddit. Don't
see,
go there.
I kind of
some good
disagree.
information.
It's
Every
like
place the light touches is the internet. What's that dark corner over there? That's Reddit. We don't go there.
Well, used
No,
to be
no, it's not
4chan,
Brad.
right?
It's 4chan.
4chan's
Oh,
way
that's
worse.
fair, yeah.
4chan's
Okay,
way
now
worse.
Yeah.
Reddit, like I kind of disagree with you because most of like the best 40K leaks come from Reddit.
That
Everything,
doesn't surprise
everything
me.
comes from Reddit.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Like,
you're right.
Some
Do
like
we know if Harold is watching on either in any one of the platforms?
But most of the
I don't
trolliest
know.
trolls hang out on Reddit too.
I'm starting to
Yeah.
think
So-
that Evan is one of the trolliest trolls.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, that guy's a troll.
You know
I
Adam.
love- No,
You know,
yeah,
spe-
you're right.
hey,
But Adam's
speak-
sublime. Evan like wants to make sure you know.
Speaking of Evan, has he gotten you with the cat yet?
No, we were
No?
talking about that earlier. He's playing the long game.
Yeah, no, he is. You just gotta open up your mind.
What?
Do you know what he's gonna do?
I know exactly what it is.
No.
I don't
Oh
even
my
know
god,
what
it's
he's
gonna
gonna
be
do.
bad. I love it. This thing's gonna go back and forth. Anyway, what the hell were we talking about before Reddit? Oh no,
Legion.
Reddit is not a part of the dark web.
No, it's obviously not.
You can access it, right?
Yeah, if you can,
but just-
anything you can access with a regular browser is not part of the dark web.
How do you get to the dark web?
A dark browser.
Isn't it? Is it illegal to browse the dark web?
No, there's legal stuff on there.
It's just illegal to buy humans.
Yeah, you can't buy humans. You can't buy human parts.
fair.
There's
human
some,
parts.
Yeah,
Can you
yeah.
buy? Can you buy a
Joe
full
goes,
human?
Reddit is fantastic. Bread.
What?
Just the image of these guys like on the beach putting bread. In
No, it's like
launcher.
it's in like entire loaves that they're putting in this, and they just come out on fire.
You're right. It's a galaxy far, far away, and so it
Well, hello
slices
there,
the
Eli.
whole loaf and shoots out toast.
Can we change
Oh, man.
the subject?
Eli would absolutely love this. Like I'm sure, he knows more about like
Is the
Star
dark
Wars
web.
canon than anyone I know.
What?
Oh, what
I
about
don't know the
parts?
Can we
Anyway.
buy elf parts on Reddit?
Actually, if you go to,
I don't think you can't buy anything on Reddit. Right? It's not a
I
sale
have
thing.
no
You
idea.
can
No,
contact
I don't
people.
think so. Yeah.
so therefore you can buy.
Yeah, you can buy like fake identities on there.
On Reddit?
No, on the dark web.
On the dark web.
About to say what?
I'm trying to remember what is legal on the dark web. There's like backups of stuff. Like there's leaks on the dark web. Like
The dark web is essentially just another layer of internet, right? Like it's a.
Wait a minute. I thought the internet was a series of tubes.
It is. So like this one's like the older tubes.
not so much older
Well,
as
well, so
The
like-
dark
like-
web's
like-
the old
Like the old
infrastructure
like
that
lead tubes.
Yeah,
No.
they're-
Okay, hold on,
the
hold on.
backup.
Cast iron tubes.
Has
They're all
anybody
cast iron.
has anybody ever seen Futurama here?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like old New York where it's
Oh, like the
below
mute- the
Yeah.
mutants
yeah
and
where it's
everything
like
down
below
there.
New York.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
so it's the original cast iron tubing.
Where all the mutants live. Yeah, exactly.
I'm pretty sure it's not
mutants
older at all.
Tony's brain's like smoking. What? Chocolate Heights.
Not
Yeah.
even close.
It's like it's a lot more secure. Like it's really hard to track people. Like your ISP can only they can see you're browsing the dark web, but they can't see where you're going.
I'm
it's
for
all-
that, but I'm not for
yeah.
like human trafficking taking place.
No,
on
no,
it.
it's all like everything
Wait,
else
did that,
is like
Did that shoulder shrug say you're like kind of indifferent to human trafficking?
Man,
He's like, man,
Could be worse.
No, what that was whenever you have something like that, you're always gonna have like horrible legal
Well,
shit
sure,
happening like
yeah.
that,
sure.
yeah. So
yeah.
no. I don't think you can get one without the other. That's what the shoulder shrug
Mike says
was.
I'll be quiet from now on. Put the wheels. No, Mike, that's the whole purpose of the show. is
Yeah,
to-
no one.
The darker
tubes.
Yeah.
The lights are just out on this internet. Like it's the same internet. They just didn't change the light bulbs.
And
Wow.
like most of the websites
Tony just
are
glazed over. He's like, I'm moving on.
yeah. Well, most of the websites are like they're just hosted from like people's houses, as far as I know, instead of like being hosted by like big servers.
Did you see that thing? Somebody like was like somewhere in Africa. They were posting like underage girls for sale on Facebook.
That's terrible.
And somebody like told Facebook like, hey, like human trafficking right over here, and Facebook's like, oh, okay, and it stayed up. Like they didn't immediately take it down, and you're like, you can't like link to Breitbart on Facebook,
Right.
but you can traffic human beings and like I don't know.
Well, maybe they kept it up so they could keep
Keep tabs on
them.
it. Yeah,
Totally-
like maybe.
Jake, there's literally no reason.
Yeah, that's when you shadow ban. That's when you shadow ban.
Yeah, they could have
Yeah.
just taken. They didn't need any more. Like once they saw it, there's a lot of really crazy stuff with Twitter too. Like with like when the executives were on the Joe Rogan show.
Yeah, that was great.
Oh man,
Oh
that
my
Tim
goodness.
Pool guy like just
Yeah.
grilled him.
Yeah.
And they're
that was
like,
awesome.
"Well, we're doing this." He's like, "No, you're not. That's not true." And they're like, "I'd have to check." It was just great. Anyway, I wanted to talk real quick about a rumor for Age of Sigmar. They rumored a Free People book.
They did. You're welcome for that link.
Wait, when did you send that to me?
Like days ago.
Never saw it.
I tagged you right in it. In
Never
fact,
saw it.
I think like 3 people liked the comment.
Oh, man.
that
To be
was
fair-
literally only your name with like 7
To be
exclamation
fair,
points.
every
Unbelievable.
time I open up Facebook on the computer and Tim's logged on, there's 18 notifications. So there's most likely it's still there.
It's just like it's just like his browser tabs, right?
Yeah, 18
Yeah,
browser
so he's
tabs.
got like
Listen,
32.
18 is
He's got
being
32
so,
browsing windows opened
so
up.
conservative. When
He had
when
3
he had a second monitor installed, it literally doubled
Look,
the
I
problem.
literally think he had 3 browser windows up
Yeah.
with like 10 tabs each on each of them.
Yes,
I'm
but
tired
now
of
we
this
can
character.
multiply
Tim,
this
man.
by 2 screens.
We got to talk about your inability to let go. All right?
Listen,
Just
here's
close
the thing. like,
window.
Like
Tab.
when you get onto YouTube and you're like, "Oh, that looks cool," and you open it up in a tab, and you're like, "That looks cool." Open that up, and like
Most of us are
Stop
like, that
opening a
looks
new
cool.
tabs.
Click next thing and just move on.
Or
It's
you
in
just
your
watch
history.
it. Like
No, I know, but then
he
what-
clicks all of them before he watches one of them, and then like saves them
the
for
goal
later.
is to watch the shortest ones first and just work up and
Got a system.
get them all watched, and then you can close it. But the problem is they always listen. I fall. It's a YouTube rabbit hole, man. Like
Yeah.
you like watch something about like the Federal Reserve, and then there's a million things on the side. You're like, "Oh, what's that? That's cool."
No, it's not.
You're like,
Okay, hey,
Look,
so
I do,
like
but
today, I watched a video about the original Europeans. It was very interesting. They were talking about like the phenotype of like, it was crazy. Don't know how I found it, but I
All right,
watched
so
it.
this rumor you were going to talk about,
watched it.
this Free People's thing. To expand a little bit, I don't know if we saw the same page.
Rotary phone. What's a Luddite?
But
Might
I
be
don't
me.
know if we
Luddite?
saw the same article. But in the article that I saw, it stated that every Age of Sigmar army will get their battle tome by the end of this year.
That's wild.
Yeah.
I did see that. It was just a little blurb. It wasn't like a full article. But
Yeah, right. But it was
for the
it
one
was
I saw.
Basically,
Was
like,
it on NAFTA? NAFTA? That's where I saw mine.
I think it might have been Spiky Bits,
Oh God. Anyway,
or maybe Bell
Is
of
it,
Lost
it's
Souls.
probably
I'm not-
Bell
I'm
of
not-
Lost Souls your favorite.
Possibly, but you know, the one thing that they did big focus on was free people. I
What
thought-
are the free people? Is
They're
it like
the-
the free folk from Game of Thrones?
Nope.
Nope.
Not quite.
Wildlings?
Nope.
Nope. No, they're basically just.
We gotta
like,
talk about that, by the way.
Humans, the
Are
humans
you
of
excited?
the realm.
No, not at all.
Sunday.
Did you? Are you guys finished?
2 episodes left.
Okay, oh my God. Well, see, it's hard to churn through. You're like, oh my God, 2 more. Anyway, hang on. We'll get to Game of Thrones in a minute because, oh my God, we rewatched season 7. Garbage. Have you watched? You haven't watched any of it, right? Season 7 is so bad. Like
It is. It's literally like
It's
a,
the worst
like a work
season
art.
of all of them.
it is worse than I
Even though
remember.
like a lot of cool events happen, like as a
There are
collective
some
season.
visually stunning and actually gut wrenching moments that happen.
Yeah.
But they're lost in a sea of fecal matter. Where you're just like you're rolling. You're like, oh, what's that? And you're like, that's a turd. And you just have to like, it's terrible. It's
That's
so
a turd.
That explanation just. My God.
I don't. Oh, I still think it's
in
decent.
that group. They were like talking about don't spoil because everybody's caught up. And I just posted a GIF of a dumpster on fire flowing down a river of shit, and nobody commented. I'm like, this is the perfect analogy for season 7 of Game of Thrones. Oh no, I gotta watch it. Mike always suggests
Watch
like,
The Expanse.
good
I've
stuff.
never even heard of it. What's the Expanse?
I have so many things on my list.
Yes, Mike, I am a Luddite. Anyway, okay, the free people is what we were talking about.
Yeah.
Okay. So, last year, or maybe it was earlier this year, somebody, you know who Pete Foley is?
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
like the lead rules designer for Sigmar and 40K.
Yeah. For
His
both
title's
systems?
like his title's
Really?
they're the same game.
Yeah, I was about to say that doesn't surprise me.
Anyway, he tagged somebody in something about free people. So like, let's do this. Like DM me or whatever. So they're like, oh, free people are getting a new book. But at any rate, now Mini Wargaming Matt is apparently starting to play free people like this week. Did you see that
Yeah,
post?
I did. He's like trying to buy people's armies.
I'm like, unbelievable. I make a decision to go with an army and like it just catches fire. But anyway, I'm in the middle of a conversion that's going to be massive.
have you actually started any of those yet?
I just ordered as much of the stuff as I could.
Why? Tim, it's coming this year.
I didn't know that. I literally had already ordered, and then I saw the link.
You know, I bet if if you had read the link I tagged you in, you could have saved
there's
yourself
too many
some money.
tabs. I couldn't possibly have seen it.
Too many tabs. Really?
If only I hadn't shot myself in the foot.
I wouldn't be bleeding.
Can we talk about the March FAQ and why it's April and it's not out
Well,
yet?
they said this year that it was going to be April.
Yeah, they
Oh,
also
did they?
they've also
'cause
pretty much
last
changed
year-
their mind that it's permanently going to be April.
Yeah, because Adepticon's always March.
Yeah, Adepticon's
Oh.
never going to move, and they always want to take that feedback.
Okay,
So
that makes
which-
sense.
It makes a lot of sense.
At least they're
but-
being transparent about it,
yeah, they
not just quietly
You read
shifting
Joe's
it to
comment?
April
Yeah.
every year.
No, yeah, I'm excited for that FAQ.
actually,
I don't know.
Joe has a good point. Hey,
know,
do you watch Game of Thrones like only online because maybe you get through a portion of the episode and then just like that's why nothing's making sense to you because it gets drowned out in a sea
Fortunately,
of tabs.
I watch it with Sarah, so like we sit down and watch an episode, and then like honestly, this past week, this what happened. Like we'd watch an episode. This is a view into our living room right now, right? So we'd watch an episode. It would get over, and we'd do this. We'd both at the same time. Do you want to watch another one? And we're like, this is real time. We're both like, yeah, turn it on. With that much zeal.
Yeah, but you
Honestly.
still watch it.
Yeah, but you know, like, man, what can I compare
You watch it
to?
again.
You are voluntarily rolling through
No,
the
I
river
know.
of fecal matter.
What are those?
It's not even like the first time. It's
He
the
wants
second
it
time.
to be good.
What are those people that
I know
are
the feeling.
flagellant when they flog themselves, like out of penance? Is that what they're called?
I just
I don't
There's a
know
unit
what
in Sigmar called flagellants, and they're like whipping themselves. So like that, I should be whipping myself for doing it again. Like
Shame.
Shame.
Like, it is such
Shame.
trash.
I just watched all of it over again.
You
and-
watched 5 episodes, right?
Well, yeah. So I watched all of it in the last
know
few
that, Jake.
weeks. 1 through 6, seasons 1 through 6. Like, I don't want to complain about. I think they're fine. Like, obviously 1 through 3 I think are kind of better, but maybe it's because they're world building more. But season 7 is by far a big difference than the rest of the seasons.
Yeah.
It's paced weirdly.
No,
It-
it's
it-
paced horribly. They're like, hey, we're going north, and then like the next scene, they're pulling the boat up, and they're there. And can we just talk about? Okay, it's been over 2 years. It's coming up on 2 years. I don't
don't
care.
spoil
about
anything.
spoilers.
I mean, to be fair on that argument, they are running out of time. Like
Whose fault is that?
How,
Because-
how
because
is
they're
that-
not running
why
out
is
of
that?
content.
Why are they running out of time?
I don't know
because
the
they've
politics.
limited their episodes.
I don't know the politics behind what determines
Well,
how
a lot
many
of it's
episodes
money.
there are.
Well,
A
let me
lot
ask
of
you
it's
this:
money.
Yeah,
Supernatural went 15 seasons.
Yeah, it
at
did.
20 episodes per,
You're right.
And
I-
Eli,
I-
listen,
and
I'm
I can
emotionally
guarantee you
invested,
that those
but it's
and
episodes
those were
objectively
were not
bad.
those were
even a-
45-minute episodes.
I would bet you, fucking everything that the budget for a Game of Thrones episode is way bigger.
Well, it's
than an
definitely
episode
money,
of
and
Star
all
That's
the
Wars.
fine,
actors,
but it's
all
not
the
like
actors
they're
have
not
to-
getting money.
Well,
No,
all
no,
the-
I'm
right.
You're right, but all I'm saying.
The
But it's
number
not
one watch show
financially feasible.
of history.
Look, I'm just saying that
Game of
they've
Thrones?
got to have
Yes.
they've got to
Really?
have their hands tied politically somewhere.
Yeah, it's financial. I'm
So,
telling you,
okay,
all of the
you're
actors,
right,
all the
but-
actors have
but
demanded more
that's-
money and earned it.
But that's why. So
I understand.
When you have a problem
I
with the
understand.
pacing, you have to kind of step outside
When's the last
the
time you
box
watched
for a minute.
season 7?
Look.
When
Like,
it was
it's-
airing,
Dakota,
It's like objectively
I
bad.
understand.
I understand, but
no, look,
like,
I
you
understand
have
what you're
to-
saying, but
I get it.
you have to. They have to also understand that they don't have to do that. Like they
Yeah,
can give
I
us
know.
quality.
The main plot of season 7, there's no reason that plot exists. They literally. Okay, let me see if I can. I don't know the
it
measurements.
does seem
of,
one.
of
It
the
does seem
world.
like one chapter of a book.
Well,
like
yeah,
this
nothing
s-
really
main
happens
plot season
globally.
7. something.
Events only transpire in the show
A lot of things happen globally.
for convenience, though. So, like, it literally...
It's hard to say anything without spoilers.
They're literally able to take Highgarden in the time that, for some reason... Okay, I have to put this in a way that people that don't necessarily watch the show would understand. So their plan is literally... Do I have a map of the world here? Okay, to go from... No, that's their world. I'm talking
Getting
like...
way too into this now.
Listen, no,
Do
but
I
you
have a map?
You don't
Yeah, that
know.
is literally
You
the
don't know what
world
they
there.
did. No. Okay, so their plan is to go from New York City to L.A. by sea, right, and take L.A.
With the same
In the
geographical problems as that?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yes.
In the same time that they send people from New York to Baltimore, and then back to New York, and then to Moscow, and back to New York, and then back to Baltimore, all kind of in the same amount of time.
In like synchronized as well.
Oh, that's kind of dumb.
Now let me make it even more dumb. So there's an army of the dead, right? An army.
It's kind of dumb.
No, it's cool. The Army of the Dead's pretty sweet. Now, you need to go from New York to Baltimore to pick up something,
Okay.
back to New York, then to Moscow to grab one dead guy, and then back
So
to New
you
York, back
can
to
prove
Baltimore.
that they exist.
So you can prove to the government of Baltimore that they need to help you fight in Moscow against the Army of the Dead.
That's a very convoluted way of explaining it, but yeah,
Am I wrong?
that happens.
They
in
literally,
one
their
episode.
plan was to capture one zombie, one skeleton walker, and take him back and show somebody.
I'm
that,
not upset. That's probably how it's going to be.
Damn it, Mike! It is magic. There's magic in the world, but the raven, the speed that raven would have to fly.
For
It was
information.
like- it was a bullet across the continent.
And then these scenes literally have. Okay, so like
So the biggest thing is that
the biggest thing is they're on a lake surrounded by zombies.
we don't have to explain.
No,
the
yes
show.
we do. Yes we do. They're on a little island in a lake, surrounded by the dead. Right. They send somebody to run back. So they
Come
walk.
on, Brad. Even Rotary Phone Tim has seen season 7.
I haven't even seen season
Listen,
2.
they walk for days and days to get where they're at, and they get attacked by the dead. And they're like, "Listen, you're the fastest. You need to run back." I don't know how they know he's the fastest, but they tell him to run back. He gets there in a day.
Carrying
they
a warhammer.
No, they took the warhammer. They made sure
they
to take
did?
the warhammer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whoa. Who's that famous Kenyan runner?
I don't know, but anyway,
This is a
There's
city
plenty.
boy who was not,
Fair.
who never ran anywhere.
He was.
This is a guy
He
from
always,
Blacksmith.
he always looked like he was in shape.
this
no,
is a
he
guy
looked
from
like he was
Palm
in shape,
Beach
sure, but-
running
Is that how
through
they picked him?
Siberia.
Is that how they...
Probably.
You look like you're in shape. Go run.
He says
Okay,
you're the
this was a blacksmith.
fastest.
He was not trained in cardio. Okay.
No.
The dude.
Trained to swing
The
a
dude
hammer.
like spent his entire life, his career, missing leg day.
So here's the
okay?
here's the problem. Like a lot of these things aren't problems if they expanded it over a real 10-episode show.
No, them being on that island and him running back over a day, okay, and then the sun sets one time while they're on the island, right? Meanwhile, hang on.
But they could have expanded that. They could have expanded that.
The dragon gets to
time.
Moscow from New York in a day.
Stop.
Like,
You're
clearly
screwing
a day. It's a day.
Well, I mean,
So-
there's
so-
no Moscow.
The Raven had to fly from Moscow to
I
New York.
have no idea what you're talking about, and you're just talking on a dragon.
You're literally
flying
explaining
from
this
New
only to
York
Brad because we know what you're
to
talking
Moscow.
about.
I'm
Okay.
just gonna
It sounds
say it.
dumb.
Season
Like, I
7
don't know
was
what you
cinematic
want.
genius. Okay, like I'm
It-
the
the
only.
problem
am I
was
the
is
only
that they condensed everything into small 7 episodes,
they did.
which left them no room
Wait,
to
what?
have.
They only did 7 episodes in a
In season 7.
That's
Yeah.
dumb.
They're only doing
Well,
6 in
they
season,
can't
season
afford
8.
it. They can't
That's-
afford it.
The last two
The
are
CGI
2 hour
is
long
too expensive.
episodes.
All the
probably
actors
why.
are getting paid buku money now. I mean, you know what I mean?
It's
They have a
HBO,
huge
right?
cast.
Yeah.
At any rate, like they've totally.
Anyways, are you excited for season 8?
Not at all.
I am. Can't
Okay,
wait
there
till
used to be a
Sunday.
time-
Dude, I am excited. I really am.
I am
wanna-
super excited.
But the thing is, like, you know, you're
Eli, they didn't drop it. They took it and they said, you know what? We got to stop the clock. And they spiked it as hard as they could, and it bounced up and hit the viewers in the face.
because you invited me over to watch it with you, but I'm like, I feel like you're gonna ruin it for me.
Yeah, you can't talk for. You can't talk
because
till the episode's
you're
over.
gonna like be screaming at the TV the whole time, and you're gonna say things that don't make sense. And I'm just because say what you will about it, and like there are parts that I'm like, what is this? I still enjoy watching the show. I still like it.
They've taken my joy away. There used to be a time where that theme song would come on. That's right, man. And like I was just filled with glee.
You have
and
a new
then
theme
now
song.
I'm just filled with like
You have a new theme song now.
what?
I'm gonna take my horse to the old country road.
Can we sing that?
Yeah,
I'm gonna
man,
ride
there.
till I
Hit the nail on
can't
the head with
no
that.
more.
Demonetized.
In the arms of an...
I still hear the South Park version of the Game of Thrones theme song.
You watch
I have
absolutely.
not
See
heard
me?
that yet. What is it?
I can't.
No,
know
what-
what it
no,
is.
what-
The South Park theme song to the Game
Oh.
of Thrones.
Not South Park theme. Yeah, the South Park version.
Yeah. You know what it is. I don't think you do.
I haven't seen it.
So in
really fun.
other news, I found out
Eli, I
how we
would love
can
that.
get a lot more subscribers.
Let's hear it.
We just have to make a killer music video.
Why? Who did that?
It's PewDiePie.
Okay. All
I'm
right.
not surprised.
But I mean, he already has a
dude,
following.
you
but
need
he
to
was
be, like-
down 100,000. He was 100,000 subscribers behind T Series. Then he put out a music video called "Congratulations," satirically or like not satirically, but like congratulate them, but like sarcastically.
Right.
And pointed out like a whole bunch of like negative things about them. And this it's like a diss song. But anyways, now he's up like 400,000 subscribers. So he like
I love
turned that all back around.
I love the
if
whole
we
thing.
make a music video,
Or
we might get
alternatively,
50 views.
we could we could just ask PewDiePie to plug us just once on his show.
That's all it takes. You
Yes!
remember that
The-
old
the
guy?
old guy, the movie
The
reviewer.
freaking movie review had 127 subscribers for 9 years, and then he gets plugged one time.
We subscribe to him. I see this stuff pop up all the time.
And then
I can't take him serious though. He's like, "Oh, Game of Thrones was a season 7 was great."
Did you watch the season 7?
No, but like I
Don't
can't.
even say
no,
it.
no,
then.
he
Don't-
did a
don't
review of
trash
some
his
movie that
name.
was trash and said it was good.
To be fair, we haven't said his name.
Jackie Cooper. Subscribe to Jackie Cooper.
Okay, well, you know,
Dude's
I
been doing
protected
movie
his
reviews
amnesty as
for
best I
15
could.
years.
I did my best.
That's all we gotta
Sorry,
do, though.
Koopa.
So,
Joe, I totally
so
disagree.
let's do it.
It's the show is terrible now.
Oh man. Okay.
It's just so bad.
What about Endgame? Because that's right around the corner too.
Hang on, I'm excited about that. My son should be born by then, but if he's not, and she goes into labor in the movie theater, I've got a leather belt for her to bite down on while she's in labor.
By her choice, she wants to watch the
Oh
movie
yeah,
too.
she knows Steve Rogers Roberts coming into the world. Anyway, before we talk about Endgame, I want to talk about a movie I just saw, but more importantly, I want to talk about the betrayal that I felt during this film.
What are you talking? What movie is this?
So me and Sarah,
What about the betrayal I felt?
me and Sarah went to see.
Can I preface this?
Yeah.
All right, so Friday night, Brad invited me to go see.
Only him. Only Jake.
Not at first. He asked me like that morning or the day before if I want to go see Pet Cemetery that night, and I was like, "Brad, you're dumb. I work Friday nights every night." So then he's here at the store, and Tim and Sarah are leaving, and then he's like, "Oh, do you guys want to go see it?" And then
That's not even what happened. He goes, "You want to see that movie, Jake?" You're like, "I'm at work," and I was like, "What movie? I'm intrigued.
Well,
I
at
like
that
movies."
point, it was a joke.
And then Brad was like, well, we're going to go see a Monroe. And then Tim was like, well, we're not going to Monroe. So that was the end of that. Now continue your story. Your part of the story.
So Sarah and I walk in, and Sarah walks in first, right? And I stumble in late with all the snacks
on
and all the
Saturday.
goodies.
Sunday.
No, this is Sunday.
Sunday night. My
Sunday,
bad, yeah.
Sunday, like 3
Yeah. Okay.
o'clock.
What movie?
Pet
It was
Cemetery.
Pet Cemetery.
Okay, thank
At any
you.
rate, I sit down in the darkness. I sit down, and Sarah's like, "Hey, that's Brad Murray," and just like a stab of pain hit my heart. I was like, "No, not our Brad and Murray." And she goes, "I know, I know."
Wait, why was there a stab of pain?
Because they
know.
were at the theater, and there wasn't even a phone call.
Hey, did he call you?
No, he didn't call me, and that's just what I was about to,
To
get
be
at.
fair, he
I
thought-
didn't get
To
Phone
be fair,
call.
he thought you saw it the Friday night in Monroe.
That's right. That's
Stop
right.
sticking up for him.
The fact of the matter is, I was betrayed. and it happened in front of my eyes.
Okay.
I was like,
Hold on.
E2 Bradley.
Hold on a second. Let's all take a step back for a quick second. So you guys acknowledge that neither one of you called the other.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was awesome.
What about me?
Well, what were you doing
Where was
Sunday?
my phone call?
I
You
called
work Sundays.
Hey, did you know that cat?
What time did you go?
The Pet Cemetery cat.
4:30.
He like
I was out by then.
Really?
went to the premiere
I think it was 4:45.
Really?
and was like all like groomed nice and had a tie.
Doesn't matter. I don't work
That's
every
funny.
Sunday.
I don't know.
In fact, I haven't
This
worked
is
the last
an
2
excuse.
Sundays.
That anyway,
That kitty though.
Pet Cemetery was pretty good. What did you like it?
I have
Yeah,
a,
yeah,
I have
I
a
enjoyed
hard
it
I have
quite a
a
bit.
hard time believing that that's going to be the case.
Listen, man, you know what?
Why?
Like, did you see Us?
No, I
Have
never
you
did.
seen Us?
Did you like it more than us? That would be my
Yeah, I
answer.
actually did like it more
Okay.
than Us, but
I didn't
really,
see it. I
the
didn't see
reason.
Us.
Okay, now here's my reason because it
Did
feels
you
like.
like us? Did you watch us?
Did you see Us?
I've not seen Us yet, but
Then
like,
why are you
but-
grunting?
Well, because I really think that Pet Cemetery is going to be abysmal.
It's
I
definitely
really
No,
not
it's not. Why do you think it's going to be
Why?
abysmal?
Because,
Just because
the original one, it's just a
No,
stupid
it's better.
concept.
Listen,
It's
to
just
be
a
fair,
stupid
Stephen King
concept.
movies are usually trash. Okay, so this one,
I don't
as far as
agree with that.
remakes go, it's pretty
I
good.
do
they,
agree with that.
They change it, dude. The original It movies were garbage.
they were pretty good. I enjoyed them.
Oh my god, go back and watch them.
I own them.
Like
I have
video?
them on my phone right now.
Oh,
you want to watch
I
it?
thought you were fucking the
Look, it's-
VHS, like in
we're
the
in a-
sleeve.
we're in a moment-
VHS, yeah.
We're in a time of cinema
right
that's
next to my
way different than it
Titanic.
was then. Like
Yeah.
movies then were just different. Like
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Tony, they liked it. I don't know how, but they liked it.
What?
Well, actually, I don't know if he's talking about the remake of It or the remake of Pet Cemetery.
I like both.
But in either case, I wouldn't want to watch either of them.
the remake, what?
The remake
of it was
really good.
insane.
The remake of
Really?
It got way more praise than it should have.
It was
Dude,
really good.
It might be
when,
like
when I saw that movie, I was very young.
Mm-hmm.
And
You were terrified of
that
it.
movie traumatized me as a kid.
Oh, is
then
that
you go
why you
back
don't
and
want to see
watch-
it?
You
Yeah,
see
no,
the big
like,
alien
like,
cockroach
I
in that,
don't,
you're like,
I don't
this
want
is
to relive
stupid.
that.
Okay, because you know how the first It was kind of like it preyed on like the realistic and comedy version, like the horror behind a real life clown.
Yeah, and I feel like this is just going to be like
This
much
was
more true
like-
horror.
This was like
not true horror.
supernatural horror.
It's
yeah,
a-
it was.
It's very it's got a so it's Stephen King's always kind of had a quasi
Later, Michael. Thanks for joining.
a quasi what's the guy's name? I can't even think of his name now.
Yeah, Tim, where is the Smash Journey?
We've had 3 of them. He just doesn't
I'm
show
sorry.
up.
How many phone calls have I received?
I literally have a Facebook page
for Smash Brothers.
for events. Yes,
I've
it's
never
called Saturday Smash.
I have never heard about this ever. You have to be lying to me.
Did you know about the 40K tournament last Saturday?
Yeah.
He didn't.
What? I
Look. Okay. Look.
well, I knew
all
maybe
I'm
I
saying-
knew a week in advance.
I
Hey,
obviously didn't know
I
about
meant
these
to-
Smash
I
tournaments
meant to text you,
because
what was
I
the-
hadn't won any of them.
Who was everyone's favorite table? What was everyone's favorite? So when you
what?
make when I'm bidded to make tables the night before
we have
tournaments,
we have not had that many complaints about terrain in a while.
okay, I just want
Since Jaden did it.
However, everyone that's here Friday night makes fun of me for my table, so I want you to ask everyone what their favorite table was, because sometimes they like intervene.
See, you're not here to check the pulse of the event. Like, people were like pretty angry about the tables Saturday. They were-
Like,
don't look at me
Really?
like, yeah, like one of them, like, this one right here was the worst table I've ever seen.
No, God
Then
dang it.
why did you let it be played on? Like,
I
why-
didn't. I had to change it.
okay.
Because I mean, it
Oh,
was like
okay.
they came
That's
in. They're
what it
like, "Are
was.
you like?" We had some out of towners. Like, I'm not gonna play on this, and they were gonna leave.
He's full of crap. He is totally full of crap.
You had me.
Did you change
Really? Because I was like,
Was
This
that-
table was. Really
I didn't
bad.
know.
It wasn't really
It
bad.
was very bad. There was
Everyone-
no like. There was a bunch of trees, but like, there's nowhere to hide.
Yeah, I didn't.
Everyone told me it was really bad, but I was like, it looks kind of cool.
Nobody
Okay, so-
ever mentions having a
Hold,
favorite
all right,
table.
hold
By
on.
the way,
You're lying about the Saturday Smash thing.
no, look it up.
I'll look it up right now. I will look
We
it up
don't have
right
one scheduled
now.
right now, so you have to go
Yeah,
back.
the
to
last one just ended.
You have to go
No,
through
you're
our previous
lying.
events.
It's not true.
Are you still watching the comments?
Yeah.
No,
Dude, there's like a big blue
The comments
Smash
are literally
logo.
going
It's
to be
really
left
cool.
behind.
Eli
while I
called
look
you a
this
lie.
up.
Said
Anyways,
lies.
no, it's not my fault. You guys don't show up to these things.
It's not my fault that you don't. I don't know.
Past
Advertise them. Yes.
Anyway, what were we
March
talking
Madness.
about?
We were talking about Stephen King. Anyway,
Okay.
so what I was saying was Stephen King always says
Yes.
he has some. He's always had some sort of quasi kind of
Liar.
Lovecraftian feel to him, to a lot of his
Liar.
works. It is a lot like that, and so is Pet Cemetery.
Yeah.
So
As far as remakes go, Pet Cemetery was good. It was different enough.
I thought.
But I thought they did a good job holding.
Well,
did you see Pet Cemetery?
No, not yet. I want to, but the same people
It's worth a watch.
who were involved with it made Pet Cemetery.
Watches aren't very expensive.
Actually, there's a funny
You said it's worth a watch. and
Easter
they're
egg
just not very valuable.
in Pet Cemetery.
It's wrong. It's no Rolex.
It's just a sign, like they're driving down the road and they see a sign and it says dairy 20 miles.
Okay.
It's just like a road sign. It says dairy 20. I think that's actually a hint that the next It movie is going to be out in the next 20 weeks.
20 weeks.
20 weeks.
It's supposed to come out this year. So.
Yeah, exactly. And nothing's been
That
seen
could
on
be.
it yet.
I mean, that
We're
could
supposed
be.
to get a real trailer
You
soon.
find it?
Yeah.
No,
So
because
20
you're-
weeks to put it in September,
I went as far back
which
as
is
the release
right
date.
before October for
Right.
Halloween.
It
You're a
came
liar.
out around, I think, in September
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 years
You
ago.
don't
Yeah.
have them.
So,
So
do you like it?
I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen what?
My biggest
I
problem
haven't
with
seen it.
we're not playing that game. We're not playing that game
No,
today.
my biggest problem with it was like he literally ate a kid, and then later on just couldn't eat children anymore.
Do you not know how
I
the
understand.
mythos works?
They're literally terrified for the majority of the movie. Just eat them when they're scared. He decides he's not hungry until it's time to eat them, and they're like, "Oh, they're not scared
Yeah, but they're
anymore."
more delicious when they're.
They're terrified for the whole film until they're not scared. It's a stupid
like-
mythos.
but it's like-
Nah,
It's stupid.
It's not.
No.
I agree. It's stupid.
No, it's not.
It's
It's,
way-
a really good story.
Listen, it's the same Jon Snow problem. Like when they're like, okay, in it, when she's in the fridge and or he comes out of the fridge and they're freaking out. Delicious children, right there. Like, don't make a cut of
yeah,
that.
he's about to eat one, but then he gets.
But then he doesn't.
because the non-scared one does something.
He
Comes
he
up and
did
hits them or
something
something.
brave. That doesn't
Wait,
mean he's not
the
scared.
fridge. Oh, you're talking about
He's
in
in
the
the
house
house.
the first time?
Yeah, he's about
he
to-
stabs him in the face with a piece of rebar or something.
Yeah, that's
like
what
rips
happens.
his
Are you
face off.
serious?
Yeah.
You like just counteracted your point there.
He's got him in the sewer at some point earlier in the
Yeah,
movie.
later
And
on in
then
the
he's
movie
got
when
the-
they're hunting him and they're
He's
not
got
scared.
Fatty in the library and doesn't eat him.
At the beginning of the movie?
Yeah. So you're telling me this
Well, at the beginning of
interdimensional...
I mean, I only understand the concept. I haven't actually seen it, but
It's an
isn't
awful
it,
concept.
Well, they have to be scared, so he has to make them scared.
Yeah.
If you just eat everybody right away, they're not going to be
What
scared.
I'm saying, Tony, is okay. To me, there's got to be a cinematic term for this. Like when you just go back and like change things at the end of the movie. You're like, yeah, remember it was like that the whole time. So like Us does that, like totally this way the whole time. You're like, you're thinking back. You're like, there's no effing way that was that way the whole way. Time.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that. Like, oh, once you're not scared, like but they're terrified the whole time. Every time they see the clown, they're
Right.
terrified.
Well, my
Well,
point
not
is
necessarily though. There's actually important points of the movie. One of the reasons I really like the movie, it's kind of like a coming of age story, a coming of age horror story, which is actually kind of like Stand by Me. So
when you're not strong, go ahead.
yeah, okay.
I'll be your friend.
So it's that, but with a horror twist. However, there are parts in the movie where they're not terrified even after encountering it. Like when they're swimming in I think it was a quarry.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's plenty of parts in the movie where they're not horrified, where they're not scared.
I'm talking every time they interact with him. I'm not talking like they're just perpetually scared.
Individually, I think you're correct. But
If he feeds off of fear, they're scared in his presence. If he's an interdimensional
there's-
demon, he could have just eaten them.
but I believe.
But he didn't for plot armor reasons.
Well, not necessarily. I believe there's a certain.
And why that doesn't have to be a problem.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
But even at that point, there's an
think-
argument to be made that he can make them more scared too.
right. That was kind of my idea. Like,
Yeah,
like in order for a story to be scary, like, and there were no survivors, well, then where's the story come from?
Thank you, Eli. I agree.
You have to make them
I
more
get-
scared,
I
and
get
you have to
that.
leave survivors to make the story perpetuate.
But isn't it a more compelling story? Like maybe not compelling if they do all get eaten.
It can
No,
be.
obviously,
I mean, that's,
obviously
we've
it
seen
can't
some
work that way
movies end
because
that
there's
way,
a second
but-
part, right?
Well, when
Like
you,
they actually grow up. They
well, yeah.
physically come
So
of
if you
age.
remember the original Stephen King It movie, they
yeah, the second one
eventually-
is when they're adults.
Yeah,
So they have to
eventually
live.
have to confront it as adults because
It's every
they don't-
23, 26 years.
23 years. He comes back, but previous 23 years they didn't defeat him. They said when he comes back in the next 23 years, we're going to go back and beat him.
Right.
And
You know
we're
what
gonna- we're
happens?
gonna
You know
kill
what
him.
happens in the book?
A lot of weird stuff happens in the book.
Really weird. So
Yeah.
like, do you know what happens in the book?
Are you
No.
talking about the one?
The,
Yeah,
the
he is.
way they get out of
He
the
is.
sewer, Jake.
Yeah.
Like, man, we're lost in the sewer, and she's like,
Yeah, I won't.
I know how to get out of here, and they're all like,
I won't
bet
argue
you
that
do.
there's some
And
stuff.
Stephen
I'm
King is just
glad
like,
that-
yeah, Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Think about that. What a
to come
weirdo.
up with the stuff that Stephen King has come up with, you
J.R.R.
have to be a
Martin any
freak.
different?
Like,
There's no child gangbangs in
George
Game
R.
of Thrones.
or whatever.
No
George R.
child gangbangs.
Oh, is there
plenty
in
of
it?
other messed up stuff.
Sure.
Plenty
Yeah,
of
I,
other
yeah, I
messed
bet,
up
I
right.
bet there. Yeah,
Right, but
exactly.
okay.
Plenty of probably comparable stuff as well.
But
agree.
Game of Thrones, the world is a vicious place, right? Like it's an actual.
Yeah, sure.
You know what I mean?
but
So like
the-
he created a dark world, so like uncomfortable things like rape happen, but like there's a cosmic
That
turtle
is
in it.
literally the greatest understatement ever.
Well, seriously, like you can't really. It's not comparable when you're like, oh man, they captured that guy and cut his fingers off.
I get what you're saying. No, it's just when you describe rape as uncomfortable.
Well, sure. I mean, it is.
No,
Nobody's like,
that's all I'm
yeah,
saying.
he got her.
Well, even
He got her.
even in Game of Thrones, it's uncomfortable to like, I guess everyone but the conquerors or the side that's doing it. I suppose
Right,
everyone
but
else.
it paints picture as like there's a very
It's
it paints-
normalized. It's
you're
very
like-
normalized
right.
in that world.
But
yeah.
But to the victors, right? To the victors go
Well,
the
it's-
spoils. So like when you win, you're able to do these things, and it makes losing has more weight to it.
Yeah.
Up until recently,
They
when
say
you
it
lose
in
a battle
they-
and become king
They
of the
say
North.
it like they say it in, right before a war, or right before a battle, like so many times. Like if you lose, this is what's going to happen to your wives, and
yeah,
like don't lose.
yeah. But I mean, they do change that later on, which I like. I like the rosier picture. So like you can lose the battle and become the king. Like I really like
He's
that
so
they
dumb.
put that spin on it.
The battle was won, by the way.
Who won it, Jake?
Well,
And
it-
what are they-
man.
but he didn't lose. They won.
Actually, they did lose. The
Huh?
battle was lost.
The battle was about to be lost, and someone saved the day.
I believe that's what you call semantics, Jake.
Well, I'm saying
Technically,
is
they won the battle.
They did win.
the battle was not hasn't ended yet.
Sure. Phase 1 had ended, and they had lost. It's incest. Yeah,
You know what's really
yeah.
good?
Yeah.
Shazam was good.
I have
I
a
do-
really
I
hard
do-
time believing that.
It was
do wanna
very
see it.
refreshing.
I do wanna
As
see it.
for a superhero movie where we've seen a lot of formulaic movies. It's pretty refreshing to see. It's kind of like a hero. The story is like kind of a hero that doesn't want to be a hero, like
Eli,
a real
expand
hero.
on suspension of
He
disbelief.
like
What
wants
are
to
you
pretend to
talking
be a hero, and then it's like a coming of age hero movie, I guess, because
Okay.
it's a kid that turns into
yeah.
a superhero.
about? I have no desire to see
It's
it
really
at all.
good. The
Dude,
comedy's
just-
great.
It looks really funny.
It looks
The
really
comedy,
fun.
the comedy is great.
I don't
The
feel like
theme-
laughing.
The theme is the theme is pretty on point. It's mostly about
Grinch,
family.
God.
It's mostly about family. So you might like it. I don't know.
I don't know how
You'll
can
probably pick it
like,
apart because you're
desire,
a monster and Grinch. So
I don't know how you can desire to see Pet Cemetery and not Shazam.
Pet
I can
Cemetery
see
I mean,
that.
was
there's two
good.
totally different movies.
Pet Cemetery was good because it's like, you know what? We're going to be a cut 'em up, weird kind of horror film, and then we're done. Us is like, what kind of layers of political intrigue can we layer into this non-horror horror film?
Oh my God.
No, seriously, like, that's
No,
what
I
Us
don't.
is.
I want to go see the movie just to see if I can walk away with the same
Listen,
of
Us is not
mentality
terrible.
as that.
Us is big. Okay, the biggest weakness of Us is what I said earlier. How they're like they have to backtrack and they're like, remember it was that way. Remember?
Dude, when I walk
That's the
out
biggest
when I
weakness.
walk out of the
It
theater
was
after watching
thing
it.
at the end that didn't need to be there.
when I walk out of the theater after watching Endgame, the last thing on my mind is gonna be like, oh, damn, Republicans and they're getting their grubby fingers in my movie.
I wish that I could. Well, Republicans will never
Oh my
influence
God.
a movie. It's just.
I mean, he's not wrong.
I mean, just so you
Unless it's
understand,
like a
it's definitely
third-party
the other way.
okay, Democrats, whatever.
Oh shoot! My girlfriend called me.
She, all right.
She called me drinking this. I don't know how.
Oh, I thought she called you on your phone.
Oh,
Like,
God.
she-
I don't know.
Sorry.
it's
just- okay,
it's just
I
annoying.
cannot-
That's all. That's why I don't like it.
I just don't
it's-
see it.
I wish I didn't see it.
Yeah, me too.
I wish that I could go and watch it and not
Yeah.
just
what?
any kind
Oh.
of agenda that's in film. Either way, like to me, like it's the same thing when an athlete comes out and they're like, okay, this happened.
It
with-
just feels like you're looking for something. It's like you're trying
just
to
because
find it.
you don't see it
Sometimes-
doesn't mean it's not evident.
No. I'm just.
Sometimes
No,
it's there.
No.
I think
Sometimes
Captain
it's
Marvel had very
sometimes
obvious
it's
points of
very
it.
obvious. Yeah.
They made a
Where?
cockpit joke twice. Did you see Captain Marvel?
I did.
You know why they call it a cockpit, right?
Okay, yeah, that's it.
We heard
that's
that joke
just,
twice.
That's just a joke, but like, why?
I get it.
What does it have to do with politics?
It's not
What?
necessarily
It's-
politics.
If you know about the political climate right now, that's a very
It was feminism, the movie,
popular
and they made
thing.
that joke
Yes,
twice.
exactly.
Well,
That
But
went,
the thing
to be
is,
fair,
they're hitting the nail on the head.
to
is the
switch
problem.
to switch into political gear for a second here. It's so one of the popular talking points on the left is that women are victimized. Therefore, you get Captain Marvel, who is supposed to be
Can't be a victim of anything other than male oppression.
Exactly. So she was oppressed this whole time by all these male powers, and the final villain. Sorry for all those you haven't seen it, but the final villain is her male superior that she eventually overcomes. And I mean, really, at the end of the movie, like when she's fighting all those guys and Gwen Stefani's playing in the background, I'm just a girl.
Yeah.
Like come on. Like it is in your face.
Okay, with that being said, I wish that I didn't.
Yeah, I mean,
I'd much rather watch movies like that. than
Yeah, I
just
mean,
look.
I've had this conversation with Mari before because she's the same way. She doesn't watch these movies like that, and so
Yeah,
you know.
What were you gonna
I don't know,
say?
man. I'm just
I was
not.
gonna say, to be fair, I
Dude,
don't
it's-
think
it's
Captain
clearly
Marvel
there.
was
It just-
that bad in that sense.
I've seen worse. Yeah,
Dude, no,
absolutely.
it's
I
like
think it
saying
was.
if-
It was right on the head.
It's like saying if
There
you
was
avoid
parts,
those
but the
types
whole
of
movie
jokes
wa-
that they're being political.
What's that?
It's like saying if they avoid those types of jokes, now you're going to bitch and complain that they're being political.
Well, not necessarily. I mean, there's no real reason to put
Her
a
acting-
cockpit joke in a movie like that.
Yeah.
She's a pilot.
Her acting was.
So
I
what's
don't
the
think
purpose
was
of a
flat. It
pilot?
was just the
Literally a
same.
pilot.
I get it, but what's the
But they're
point of
never
the
gonna
male?
let her fly.
But what's the point of the male cockpit joke, though? That's my point.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Because
Once.
it's a funny joke.
It was
Like,
funny
it is.
once.
But here's the thing.
I don't remember it happening twice.
Here's
Yeah,
the thing.
they replayed it. I want to say they replayed it twice.
Here's the thing. It
actually.
takes place in like.
Joe, what's that supposed to mean?
80s?
He's like, I can't believe I'm going to say this. I agree with Tim. Then you're on the right side, sir.
It takes place in like the
bullshit.
80s or 90s, so which I can actually understand in that timeline jokes like that being made, right?
well, you
And
probably
even
remember your
now-
mother being oppressed in the 90s.
I mean,
Like
no.
not being able to work or
No, she
vote.
for 2 jobs.
Two jobs.
No,
But
you
the
know
thing
what?
is- the
With
thing
that
is-
being said, I enjoyed Captain Marvel. It was a fun movie to go see. There was some funny stuff.
I did not expect you to say that. I thought you hated it.
It
No,
was
I
right
didn't
in the
hate
middle. It wasn't great. It wasn't bad. There was things.
No, yeah, it was
Like,
just
The
Eli
plot
said
was
her-
very
it-
formulaic.
Eli
and
said
it
her
was meh.
acting was was flat.
I didn't like.
I don't
her.
think it was necessarily flat. I think
she was so.
I think she nailed her role or
No,
her one
she didn't.
thing that she had to do throughout the whole movie because she was the same throughout the whole movie.
Dude, the whole movie, they're like, now listen, Bree, don't lose control of your emotions. And she's like,
No, she was.
She never
screamed.
did.
she never was emotional.
She screamed at that
she was angry.
that
once.
guy. She's like, ah!
She was not like an emotion. No agenda attached. I just didn't think the character was emotional.
No, I didn't
like, no
like
agenda
it either.
stuff aside. She was angry. Like you could tell like that she was just I don't know.
I think
I thought she was
You know, she
outperformed by
could
Samuel L.
she-
Jackson big
she
time,
could
even in a
definitely-
reduced
I
role.
thought she was
She could
outperformed by the
definitely-
Flurgan.
Flarkin.
Flurkin, whatever it was.
Look, I don't
But
think her
like-
acting was bad. I just don't think it changed. I think
She
her
wasn't- yeah,
character
no.
was the same
Yeah.
from the
Yeah,
very
exactly.
beginning
There
to
was
the
no-
very end.
And that was another issue,
There
right?
was
There's no,
the only
there's
cha-
no character.
Yeah,
character
there's no
development.
character development. It's not like so. The biggest reveal or the biggest character defining moment was her montage of her in her life always getting up.
Joe, if you
But
agree
that's
with my brother
nothing.
on anything,
She's
you
done it
should
her
feel like
whole
a
life.
fascist.
She's
Yeah, that's-
always
that's
gone
not-
up.
yeah, exactly.
So
Which-
she's
Which
not
now-
changing.
Now I
Yeah.
do,
She's not growing.
I do
She's the
like
same.
that. I do like that message of if you get knocked down, get back
Well,
up.
yeah, sure.
But it wasn't like she tried something and failed, and she organically got back up. There was always a man there to tell her you shouldn't be doing this.
Well,
Like
I
when
mean-
she's playing softball or she's driving the go-kart or she falls off her bike. I
Or
think.
flying.
Well, I mean, that's where the politics come.
That's
in.
what I'm
So
saying.
That's
That's what I'm saying.
that's what
Because
that
the
was.
overall
But-
message of picking yourself up after you fail is a good one.
I think it's really. I
I think it's gender
I
neutral.
think the way they showed it was very in a positive light for little girls because it showed little girls always getting back up. However,
Joe, how
like
do you
I said,
feel like a fascist?
her
Because he agrees with you.
her character never changed. All it changed was her powers.
Which I do not like how powerful she became. I do not like
she
that
became a
at
Mary
all.
Sue.
She became a human Tesseract. She became a human Tesseract.
she's
Is what
gonna-
she is.
Right
That's
now,
literally her powers.
she's gonna win.
That's how she got her powers.
She's gonna win
No,
the day
no,
for him in
I
Infinity
get
War.
it, but like I
But
don't,
yeah,
I don't like Superman because of how powerful
No,
he is.
she's
'Cause there's no
the
drawback.
Yeah, she's gonna be the Marvel Mary Sue.
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
exactly
just-
what she's gonna
just
be.
I just
So,
don't like it.
that's-
It's
that's
not
what it
it's
is.
not entertaining.
No, I
when
didn't.
you have no
I didn't
obstacles.
When a character
particularly
Yeah,
has
that's my point,
nothing-
Eli. I agree with
enjoy
you.
the movie.
when a
but-
character has nothing to lose, this is always my argument about against Space Marines. It's like they don't feel like they have anything to lose, so their victories don't mean anything.
They die all the time.
But they don't care about dying.
not true, but they have plenty to lose.
But,
I mean,
as perception,
but as an individual, maybe not.
well, that's what I'm talking
But
about. So, like, if
but
you
they
have
fight
this last,
but they fight for a cause
if you
greater
have
than
this
themselves.
valiant last
I mean, that's the
stand-
same. It's the
and I
same
don't want to
thing
get
for
into a big
guardsmen.
conversation about Space Marines. I mean, it's just
To be fair, Eli.
the point is when there's nothing to lose, whatever you gain doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
All I know is that I hope Thanos just disembowels her.
She's
won't.
going to win the day.
No, she'll
No,
she'll win
I don't
the
think
day.
she will.
Who's gonna win?
I think it's gonna be Tony.
No, it's gonna be her
they might-
simply because there are other.
They
A
really
lot of
should
their
send
other
out.
a lot of their other characters are gone now too. So
I
Black
think-
Panther's gone.
But this is.
So-
But regardless, I still believe that they are going to have some integrity in this story, and this is a Tony and Captain movie. Like this is.
Yeah.
This is the
and
original
Thor.
Avengers.
Yeah,
Get
it's
them
Tony,
out.
Captain, Thor, Hulk. It's gonna be their movie.
Are they all gone after this?
I mean,
I don't
who's
know.
to say they're,
I'm pretty
a lot of
sure
their contracts
I'm
end,
pretty
but
sure
doesn't
all
mean
of their contracts are over.
but doesn't,
Tony-
it doesn't mean they can't do
Do
more
cameos,
movies,
right?
Or,
Yeah.
or even redo contracts. So it's not saying.
Yeah, but like think about remember when Hugh Jackman stopped being Wolverine?
Yeah.
A lot of it has to do with like the shape these guys have to be in
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you can't. Hey Jack, or Hugh, you want to get a hamburger? No, I got to be Wolverine in 6 months. I can't eat a hamburger for another 2 years.
I do.
I
think
think-
other characters like Ant-Man and her are going to take a big role in it, but
I think
the
she'll win
story
it.
focus
Yeah,
is
I
going
think
to
so,
be.
too.
I think it's going to be Tony.
I think she's gonna do Sex Machina.
Do you guys think Vision will come back after everything's said and done?
No
Or is
idea.
or do you think he's like?
I can't
donezo?
see that happening.
You're so dumb.
Was that a
Pun?
A
It was a
Vision
pun. It was a Vision pun.
Yeah, a Vision pun.
I don't think that's going to happen, Eli. I think one of them will. I think Cap will die. I don't think Tony will.
I think Chris
see,
Evans said he was done after this one.
Yeah,
I
well,
think
that's what
Tony's
I've
going to
heard.
remain.
Chris Evans been saying for a long time that once his role as Captain America is done, he's done acting. Period.
I
You know what's-
guarantee
you know what-
you that Tony Stark is in the new Spider-Man movie.
Yeah, he'll be. He'll
Yeah.
do
Oh
some
yeah. Yeah.
cameos.
Well, he's
The thing is
Spider-Man's
with him,
like mentor.
Yeah.
As long as you don't have to take your shirt off, you can kind of.
You can't really be a mentor if you're dead, though.
I
He's
don't
not
think
gonna
they'll
be
kill
dead.
him.
I don't think he's
I
gonna
think
die.
they'll kill Cap.
He might be.
I think Cap
I think
will
he's
die.
too important. of
I
a
don't think Tony will
focal
die.
point of a
He seems to
character.
have the lowest requirement for the lowest physical
He
requirement.
could become a new
For Tony Stark.
Yeah, yeah.
because so much of his
Well,
stuff
I
is
guess nothing's gonna
CGI.
happen.
Yeah, well, and also, I mean, there's
so
nothing
is
about him that's supposed to be strong. I mean, if you look at him in like the second one, he's like really strong, but he doesn't have to be.
Right, he's just a normal. I mean, he's a super smart guy. That
Yeah.
Um,
well, I could.
I gotta
Ruffalo
admit,
doesn't
I
have to
really
be
like.
fit either.
I really like Tony Stark's character now.
I don't
Like I
is
used
he?
to-
I'm not even sure if he
I
is
hate
or
that
not.
guy. I really like Tony Stark. Never thought I'd say that.
But
Tony's not watching to
Well,
witness it.
well,
This is recorded.
How I imagine Tony Stark's character to turn into, I think he's going to be kind of a Nick Fury-esque character, in which he's not really. He's more behind the scenes.
Behind the
funding
scenes,
everything.
mother.
Yeah, exactly.
Rude dies.
Hard eyes. It's a different guy,
Man,
by the way.
I don't know the whole
Not Samuel
not
L.
even
Jackson.
thing.
The parody's not even about Samuel L. Jackson.
No. Oh,
Heart eyes. No, I think Endgame's gonna be really good though. I gotta say.
I'm so excited.
I think it's gonna be really good because I don't think it's gonna be an agenda movie. Like, I'm not like digging. I think it's gonna be to tell the story to its potential.
Yeah.
I think Infinity War was great.
Yeah,
I think Infinity
absolutely.
War was the best Marvel
Have you
movie.
seen-
I
have
can't
you
think
s-
of one better.
Yeah,
Have you
I
seen
think
the
you're
Ant-Man
probably
movies?
Right there. The Ant-Man movies are really good.
They're
Dude,
surprisingly
especially the
really,
first
really
one.
good.
The first one was like
I like-
surprisingly.
I think I like the second
fantastic.
one better.
yeah, Ant-Man and Wasp was.
And no, don't
They
get
were
me wrong.
better than Infinity War?
Ant-Man and
No,
Wasp
no,
was
no,
good.
no.
It just,
I think the second one's
I don't
better
know.
than the first one. I think both are better than Captain Marvel. And I think
Yeah, well,
I like Ant-Man. I think I like the original Ant-Man better.
I think Captain Marvel might be their weakest movie, honestly.
Captain Marvel just didn't have any soul.
Yeah.
You know,
there
that
was
was
a
the
lot.
biggest
There was a
problem, like,
lot
there was-
missing from this movie. I can't honestly. I can't think of.
I don't think it was the worst movie. I think I'm not a big fan of Iron Man 2 or 3.
I was just about to say Iron Man 2 was kind of bad.
I'm not a big fan of
I don't
Iron Man
remember
2
Iron
or
Man
3.
Iron
I
Man
really-
3 was like a big.
I haven't seen either one of those.
Iron Man 3 was there was like this behind the scenes like internal struggle with Tony where he's like afraid to be out of the suit. Like he's like it was like him.
That could be really compelling though,
think
because
that
like,
was
you have all this
3.
power.
Yeah, did I say 2?
No, you
Yeah.
said 3.
I'm sorry.
Well, you said 2 and 3, but
Oh well, no, 2 just wasn't very good. Like I don't know.
What was
it
the
was
one with
all right.
The
I didn't
third
mind
one
him.
was the Mandalorian, right? Or
Yes,
not-
it was.
Yeah, Mandolin.
Mandolin.
Mandolin's what you use to cut vegetables.
Well,
Mandarin
Mandarin's
is
an
a type
instrument.
of orange.
What's that?
Mandolin's an instrument.
Mandalorians are
what's
from
the
Star
thing that you
Wars.
like?
Midichlorians are from Star Wars.
No,
You guys are
Midichlorians
ruining
are
it.
in your body, you turd.
Oh, yeah, in Star Wars.
Mandalorian is also from Star Wars.
Yeah, Mandalorians. That's Boba Fett. He's
Yeah,
a Mandalorian.
yeah.
What are
Yeah, I know.
tangerines?
It's I think it's
More
the
importantly,
Mandolin.
what's a
What's the
Tangelo?
Iron Man 3 villain?
His midichlorians were off the scale. They're off the scale.
So Eli said
You
Eli said Captain Marvel is the closest thing to filler as you can get in these movies.
Yeah, I think that's.
Aldrich.
If you look at a
probably
lot
correct.
of them,
Aldrich Killian.
That was the main.
The-
that was the end up being the main villain, but the pretend one.
What up, fish?
He had
Jason
a
came
name.
back.
What up, fishes?
He had to flex his
The
gills.
Mandarin. It was the Mandarin.
The Mandarin. That's an orange, bro.
Okay, so it was the Mandarin. Yeah,
And it's the most
I don't
spoken
remember.
language on Earth, right?
It's the Mandalorian.
That or Cantonese.
What?
Yeah, I think it is Mandarin.
Anyways,
I'm pretty sure it's Mandarin.
I didn't really like Iron Man 2 or 3. I didn't like Thor 2.
Yeah, no, Thor 2 was kind of weak. Ragnarok was
Ragnarok
fantastic.
was the best Thor.
Fantastic. Yeah,
I haven't seen all of
orange.
Ragnarok. I've only
Oh
seen
no,
bits
you
of-
need to watch it. It's
I've seen
it's
bits and
it's the
pieces.
best Thor movie.
I think
Yeah.
all the Captain Marvel movies hold up, or Captain America movies hold up.
I've never seen.
I didn't like the
I've
first
never
one that
seen
much.
the first one or Winter Soldier.
I've seen.
Winter Soldier, I've heard, was one of the better ones.
Yeah, Winter Soldier.
I
Yeah,
don't-
Winter
people,
Soldier was
people,
really good.
People rank Winter Soldier as like the top 5 MCU
Not
movies.
anymore.
Really?
I mean, that's been a while because
Well, see, because like when
It's Black Panther now.
Yeah, Black Panther got picked to be the best now.
like
They did.
bef-
I'm just
before
they did a
I
list.
was never a
Yeah,
fan
they did.
of Captain America. Like until I watched.
Chris
like,
Evans brings
Avengers
in.
and
Chris
and
Evans
Civil
brings
War.
in him to. He's really compelling as that character.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
He
He's
makes
good.
that
in
character
2016
believable.
at the store. We talked a lot about Civil War, the original Civil War comic,
Yeah.
and that's I really loved Captain.
and that's why you
America.
hated Civil War the movie.
Yeah, because like we
I
talked
thought-
so much about it.
Man,
and
I
we
thought the
watched
Civil
it
War
so
movie
much.
was good.
Dude,
I thought it was
even
really
liked
good.
Age of Ultron. Like all of those were good.
I never saw.
Never saw
I've never
Age of
seen any
Ultron?
of the Avengers.
Man, you're such a poser.
Wait, what?
Such a
You
poser.
didn't see the, like, the
Never saw
original
any of
the Avengers
movies.
No, only ones I've seen are seen basically from Civil War on.
To be
every
fair,
Marvel
Avengers
movie.
1 and 2 are pretty formulaic.
How?
I mean,
The original Avengers
I mean,
was
a lot of
awesome.
MCU movies
I
are
was
pretty
about to say
formulaic.
90% of them are pretty formulaic. It's hard to.
I love
And
the
then
meta
you-
plots
you-
though, like the
you need to
in-war
watch-
Infinity Game type
Oh,
stuff. I
man.
love that.
You
know
need to
where they-
watch Age of Ultron to really get why Civil War is happening in the first place.
That's true.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, not
Civil War was
really.
horrible.
All you have to know
They
is that
put it-
someone.
It was the destruction that
Well,
was. that
yeah,
was
and then the
in
lady
Age of
came up to
Ultron.
Tony Stark and was like, you know, my son was there and he died thanks to you and all you people and. That,
How dare you try to save people,
yeah, I
you
know. and
idiot!
It's like.
You
I
need
don't-
to be
I don't-
regulated.
I really like.
I mean, now I want to go back and watch them from the beginning.
There are movie theaters that are doing that. Like they're doing.
I think it was AMC was doing like a 59 or 56 hour marathon or however long
Yeah.
it takes to watch all the MCU
Yeah, it's like
movies.
50
Joe
hours.
typed a lot about Tangelo. I'm not reading that, but
More importantly, what's a tangent?
Black Panther definitely got more hype than it deserved. The
Yeah,
problem,
I
the thing
mean-
with Black Panther is there's some really good characters in that.
Yeah.
Like I like Black Panther.
Yeah,
and
there
I
were- yeah,
love
there
his
was a
sister. I
lot
think
of
his
really
sister
good.
is awesome.
I think was it T'Challa? That's his name.
It's Koala.
T'Challa, Suri, His guard, his head guard woman. I'd like her too.
Can we just
Okioit,
be honest?
Okiate.
That's Michonne.
Yeah. Okay,
Like whenever you want
Michonne.
to tell me who you're talking about, just say Michonne, and I'm
Michonne.
there. She's in Endgame,
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
she
Yeah.
made
Yeah,
it.
but she didn't.
made the
she
cut.
didn't-
which means she's not
She
going to be in
didn't
Black Panther 2. Did you see the thing? It was like basing grit, and it said something about like Infinity War souvenirs.
What?
It was like basing grit in a bag, and it was
Yeah.
like I don't know.
Tim,
like your
Eli said you
heroes-
should host a movie night at Acropolis.
I don't think legally we could.
Well, you couldn't sell tickets to it, but you could sell concessions.
I could charge a cover charge, right?
I don't think.
I don't know.
I don't think you can.
I think you can charge a
Unless you-
completely unrelated cover charge.
Come hang out. You know what? I'm just going to start a Patreon.
Start a Patreon.
Yeah, I need
You can
to
find a Twitch.
I think
spot
I
to
need to post
help
Isn't
out with that.
Patreon dying?
Is
there are
it-
people
is it?
leaving Patreon because of what we were supposed to talk about today.
Censorship.
Censorship.
Oh man,
4 minutes.
We got 4 minutes.
You know what? Hey, we could.
We talked about movies a lot.
We could segue into that next week. But how is censorship affecting Patreon?
because people are being censored on the platform for. Okay, so it's like the.
Patreon
it's
doesn't like.
Yeah, they don't like certain things.
Yeah, they
He
don't
just-
like
he
what
just
some of their
copy pasted
users are
the
doing.
first
So they're. Are they just
Don't he-
kicking them off? Or are they
he just
defunding them or
copy-pasted?
what?
Well,
Yeah.
I don't.
I don't remember.
I think they're defunding
I
them.
heard of.
I
I heard
think
of a
they're
while.
defunding
I heard of from.
The
a
thing
while
is,
ago.
like-
So, which platform are you referring?
Patreon.
Patreon.
Yeah,
Patreon's
a lot of
its
those
own
are.
platform.
Yeah, Patreon's like a.
Okay.
It's kind of like a GoFundMe kind of.
Yeah, right.
So it's like.
Way
it's
cheaper than
it's
GoFundMe.
Yeah.
subscription based.
Yeah, well, yeah, kind of. It's all donation based.
You give a girl.
It's thought fun. Okay, see,
Okay,
it's
yeah.
not all. It's not all thoughts.
No, it's not all thoughts.
but
One of the guys
how-
I like.
you
on,
give a girl $200 a month, and
but
she
I-
sends you.
the guy on
But I don't
calendars.
understand. I don't understand how Patreon is censoring things like when we could have a Patreon for our podcast, which
Right.
is on YouTube.
Well, okay, so that's actually a perfect example. So if you say something, because there's a guy on there that I like watching. It's called he does this thing called Freedom Tunes, where he just makes like parody cartoons of a bunch of political
Did he
stuff.
get defunded?
I'm not sure, but I know he's on Patreon. But yeah, so if they didn't like what he was saying, they could just defund him on Patreon.
Yeah.
Like
They
if
have done that with some
Patreon
people.
didn't like what he was saying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. They'll defund him on Patreon. He could still make whatever he's making off YouTube.
What do you mean
but-
by defund him? Just
may-
like now
They
you have
don't
no
give him
patrons?
access to his patrons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To his donations, essentially.
Yeah, there was
I'm
one
not
guy.
exactly sure how that works. so
PayPal's
they just
doing
pay
it
them.
too.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
How can
Even
that-
Mastercard's been done it a couple times.
How can that be legal?
because it's their own platform. Like
yeah.
they
There's-
equal opportunity.
Yeah.
It's a
Or not equal
it's a
opportunity.
Well, they
private-
say it's against their terms of service or whatever.
Same thing.
but
Same way
Yeah.
Twitter can ban
Yeah.
certain conservative talk, but never ban.
Yeah.
Like you can
Right.
be racist against white people. But
But they
not
can
black
ban
people.
that they want to do.
Yeah, there's one
They
guy
can
that
ban
I
anybody they want
Yeah.
to, right?
There's one guy
That's
that
the
I
whole
follow.
Alex Jones debate.
Oh yeah, there's one guy that I follow who he was deplatformed by Indiegogo. He was trying to start up a comic, and
Holy crap.
they were like, "We're not going to do that," so they just like completely defunded
Was it
him.
a conservative comic?
Yeah, yeah,
Typically, the way the ball bounces.
yeah.
there.
Yeah.
They're
Wow.
suing him. They're suing Indiegogo though, so it's
I
apparently
mean,
going well.
yeah. If there's some ways to get around it simply just because of how it works, because all that stuff's supposed to be listed in their terms of service, in the user and the licensed user agreement and all that stuff, and that's not in there, and they kick you off for that, then you got something
That's why
to go with.
Tim Pool on the Joe Rogan show, when he's sitting face to face like this with
Twitter
the
execs.
Twitter executives, and he's calling them out, and when they're lying to him, he just doesn't take it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? He just says, "No, that's not true," and I loved it. I
Yeah,
don't
it
know who
was-
the guy is.
that was awesome.
Apparently, he's got his own show.
I gotta watch that one. I haven't watched that one yet.
Yeah,
It's
no,
a
it
really
was-
good one because like they feed you this whole like
I didn't watch the whole one. I just watched the clips.
I
where
misremember the details. You know, like it's very.
I don't have it in front of me or whatever. But and he's like, listen, that's not what's happening. That's
Yeah.
You're,
But
you're
yeah,
the powerhouse of the cell.
but anyways, and
the mighty mitochondria, right?
yeah, in this lawsuit, they one thing that they're quoting as their standard for what is hate speech is everything, all the symbols listed by the ADL,
Okay.
which there's 179 of them, and
Jesus Christ.
growing every day.
probably it's ridiculous. I've got it up. Actually, I just bring it up on the screen here. Yeah, the OK symbol.
We have the new
111.
white supremacist symbol.
That's
which is
that's
the
what that
finger
is.
thing.
That's
Okay.
what that's what
Yeah,
that
yeah.
is. Yeah.
Oh, that's been added.
Yep.
Oh my
100%. The number 12, the number 13, the number 14.
Wait,
14
just
words.
numbers arbitrarily?
Yeah.
Amendments to the
Did
Constitution.
you say 100%?
Is that why?
The
I don't know.
The 100%
I don't know.
sign.
Well, there's
yeah.
reasons.
Or like
The,
emoji.
the 12, 13, and 14.
Wait,
is
the
that why?
12 is the numeric symbol for the Aryan Brotherhood
Oh,
groups.
Hold on a second. Did
Maybe
you
not.
say the 100%?
100%, yeah.
Like the is it
Shorthand for 100% white.
Oh my god.
People
that-
use
which
the
is
100
nobody,
emoji all the
right?
time. Is that
I
for
don't
a
know.
completely different reason?
I don't know.
What platform is this? What are you talking
This
about?
is Indiegogo.
Oh,
that's
Indiegogo,
That's
okay.
using
This
the.
is absurd.
Do you know the 100%
Did you look it up?
emoji or the 100 emoji?
Yeah.
People use that all the time
Oh, I
for a
know.
completely different reason.
Oh, I know.
What? No, why did they ban the 100%?
Shorthand for
100%
100% white. Among
Dear
white
God.
supremacists, it's also common to create alphanumeric variations to
My
proclaim
God.
solidarity.
It's okay to
yeah.
be 100% anything
Yeah.
unless you're white.
Yep.
I mean,
Bunch of numbers. Obviously SS stuff. Yeah, it's
Was it hate?
so
Isn't the
much
term
stuff.
hate speech? Wasn't that originally a communist term?
was
Was that
it
like
does,
tied to re-education?
There's no actual definition of it
yeah.
legally.
Well, yeah. Legally speaking, it's. I mean, you can't.
No,
you
no,
can't
but like
define it
the
legally,
term
but
was popularized
I
by
believe-
communist regimes, like
Yeah.
in communist Russia, right?
I don't think it was. I don't think it was a specific regime. I think it was like revolutionaries who
Right,
popularized
but
it.
if you practice or participate in hate speech, you would need to be re-educated, right? Like brought
Yeah,
into the
exactly.
new line of thinking.
Yeah,
Which
exactly.
meant gulags.
yeah.
Gulags.
Yeah, look them up, man. They're real exciting places.
Yeah.
Said no one ever.
Not to be
need to read
confused with the Hungarian
Letter
dish goulash, which
I
is delectable on its own.
I love goulash.
It's not. It's actually terrible.
Significantly less terrifying than a gulag.
Yeah, goulash is far more
Depends
delicious.
on if you're eating goulash in the gulag.
Have you
And
ever
how
had
long-
Oh,
Tony's,
yeah,
because
because
if
they're not
you-
going to feed you goulash in a gulag.
have you ever had Tony's goulash though?
No.
Tears
Diarrhea.
you up. Tears you up.
Dude, goulash is disgusting. Even just the name like gives me diarrhea.
What's
I can't,
ironic
I can't
is
deal with this.
there's actually no food in gulags because
Well,
they're
yeah, I mean,
communists.
well, there's no foods in the country, period. So.
Oh, there is.
You
It's just at
can't-
the tables of the.
You can't be educated on a full stomach.
man.
Okay,
I
you
forgot
cannot
to
be
move it.
re-educated on a full stomach. All right, but hey, anyway, guys, we are running out of time, and this is actually a topic that I wouldn't mind diving into a little bit for next week. So, anyone have any last words?
From your host, Dakota. No, I really would like to talk about censorship next week.
Yeah, no, okay, no.
I would
it's
really
been
like
2
you guys
weeks
to
in the
watch
making,
Shazam.
So
What's that?
I'd really like.
I
you guys to
honestly
watch
never
Shazam.
want to talk
At
about
least
that
one of
movie
you.
again.
I
One
would-
of you
I would-
three.
I'll-
You guys
I'll
talk
go
about
see-
Brad,
I'll go
Brad.
see it eventually.
Brad, we should go see it this week.
Shazam?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's happening again. I'm gonna walk into the theater.
You
see
don't said
Shazam.
three times that you don't wanna go.
You don't want to see it. You literally just
I didn't even
said
know
it.
you wanted to go see Pet Sematary.
I really.
Captain
I
Marvel
actually
is the
got.
same.
I caught it from
Yeah,
you.
no, I
I
thought you
thought
didn't want to see
I've
Captain
heard
Marvel.
you diss on Stephen King so much. I just figured you wouldn't go
I
see
don't
it.
necessarily dislike Stephen
when
King,
I got
but-
tickets for Captain Marvel, that was after 18 conversations we've had where you said, I'm not going to see that. And then you text me saying, did you get your tickets?
I went on a whim though too.
Okay, all right, Brad.
Did you get your tickets? I went on a whim too. I didn't get my tickets till the night we went.
It
So.
was unbelievable. I was like, I didn't think you wanted to go.
Yeah.
All right, so parting words. The three of us are going to go on a triple date kind of thing. Go see Shazam.
Tim's not gonna
We'll
go.
talk about it next week. Okay, then Brad's going to, take me by the hand and drag me in there.
Unbelievable. All right,
wait,
guys.
what?
Thanks for watching. I hope Twitch went well. Tony, were we okay the whole time? Bandwidth wise,
It looked like Facebook
I mean,
we were
probably
okay.
not, but
the tubes got clogged.
Facebook
Yeah.
looked good the whole time.
YouTube looks fine.
okay, that's good.
No, yeah, on YouTube I haven't noticed any issues with.
Oh, you've been on YouTube?
What?
Oh, no, I'm
Well,
sorry.
I've been looking on
Unbelievable.
All right, guys.
Unbelievable.
Hope you all find your dad. We love
Miyamo
you. See you
El
next
Tigre.
time.
Bye.
Later.
Your name. My name is the Green Tiger. Did you know you said that?
I know how to.